Hello, all benders and non-benders, and welcome back to Avatar Generations. And today, we have got the brand new triple threat event with the release of the highly anticipated Ty Lee, May, and Princess Azula at long last. They are now in the game, summonable, and we've got some other very interesting stuff to talk about that has come in the update. So we're going to get right into it here. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe. Would definitely help me out a lot as we explore this new stuff in the game. Now let's get to it. First of all, we have two new event quest pages to do, both of which give some nice rewards here. First of all, we do have Boss Run. The reason for this being released is that we have a brand new boss fight against the whole Team Azula crew. Exciting and terrifying. I'm going to be very interested to see how that goes. But we have Boss Run quests here. First one, clearing boss battles. Clearing boss battles 3, boss battles 4, boss battles 5. Those are just any stages. Even stage 1s will work. And that will net you some nature stones for each. So that's 80, 160, 240. My mental math is failing me, 320, and then 400. So a nice pile of nature stones right there. And then some quests specifically for certain boss battles. These will actually get you the new currency that is now being used on all boss battles, these being the boss shards. If you have any leftover boss materials, any of the mountain apples, etc., you can now trade those out for these little Inagi crystal items that are now going to be used for all boss battles. So we do have clearing Invader Zuko, clearing Aang, clearing the Unagi, clearing King Bumi, and clearing the Princess Azula stages. And then for a few more nature stones, you can clear stage 5 of Invader Zuko, stage 5 of Aang, stage 5 of the Unagi, stage 5 of King Bumi, and stage 5 of Princess Azula. And that will net you a total of 250 nature stones. I do have free-to-play guides on the first 4. For Zuko, Avatar State Aang, the Unagi, and King Bumi, I do have some guides on those if you want to check those out. Princess Azula, though, we'll get back with you on that one. We will just have to get back with you on that one. But that is the boss run quest. Very good loot already. Over 1,000 nature stones, which is actually pretty huge. Next, Battle in New Ozai. This is corresponding to the new kind of event missions, very similar to Peace Iroh and Peace Zuko. Now we have the Battle in New Ozai missions relating to Team Azula. We have these new items here, Fire Nation Battle Flag. And then the quests here, we have Clear New Ozai Stage 1, that gives you one of the Sugi horns. Clearing Stage 2, Stage 3, Stage 4 will grant you some Ascension materials. And then Stage 5 will actually get you 3-piece Chaos tickets. Never a bad thing there. And then for just clearing any of the quests, you can get some Ascension materials, some candles, some Chaos things. And then for clearing New Ozai quest battles, up to 75, you can get 3 more of these Peace Chaos summon tickets. And for obvious reasons, I think we will be needing those. We will certainly be needing those. And then we do have battling using fire element heroes to get some candles there. Battle with Team Azula faction heroes to get some more meditation beads. Never a bad thing. And then using Peace Chaos tickets will give you a few back. Once you get to 30, you will get 4 tickets back via these missions. So nice little thing there. Next, what I do want to show you is we do have these event quests, Battle in New Ozai. These will give you the Fire Nation Battle Flag materials, as well as the new Book of Thunder set. This is the one that shall increase crit rate and deal additional penetrating damage to all enemies whenever the caster lands a critical hit. I'll be very curious to see how much damage this one actually does. because if it is high damage, that could get pretty crazy pretty quick. So hard to say on that one. But just like last time, we do have a corresponding shop. First of all, the Pursuit of Perfection for Team Azula characters. Now, we don't actually have the description here, but that was a mistake. Basically, they did give us a message, and what this particular relic does, it increases the attack and accuracy of all Team Azula allies by 30%, not unlike how the Exile relic worked in the last event. Does not stack with the same effect, and then steal 20% up to 35% of focus whenever the caster defeats an enemy. So, massive attack buff, massive accuracy buff, and then steal focus, allowing you to use more combos. Do I even need to say it? Absolutely go for this. It's usable on Team Azula characters. It's a 5-star relic. This is a must-have if you want Team Azula built up. We do also have this new Ozai Arts Orb. This will grant a random, epic, or legendary arts from the Thunder set, the new set that is in the event missions. This can give you a 3-star or a 4-star set if you get lucky. Kind of a nice little thing there. And then, of course, summon tickets. Definitely good there. You can get 5 regular summon tickets and then 3 more Peace Chaos summon tickets. And then more frivolous items. You get some Chaos meditation beads. You get some fire elements there. And just some other little items. Basically, you want to focus on 3 things. You want to focus on this first and foremost. This should be your number 1 priority. And then after that, go for the tickets. Those are your most important things. I'm going to assume that the currency is dropping at the same rate this time as it did for the Ronin Zuko event, which means it's going to take a minute. It's going to take a minute. Now, for this relic, worth it. Painfully worth it even. But be ready to grind, because it's going to take a minute. We also do have, of course, the page associated with the new summoning event here. And speaking of that summoning event, let's go talk about that. Let us go talk about that, because this one is a first for a very important reason. It is the first time we've had a banner with 3 brand new 5-star characters. We have technically had banners before with 3 5-star characters on it. I'm thinking of the Avatar Peace Aang banner technically did have 3 5-stars on it with the rate split between those 3, but Aang was the only one that was like a featured one. This one has 3. Fire Princess Azula, Ty Lee, and Mei. All 3 of them chilling in one banner. And of course, with each of those, we do have some new 5-star relics, in addition to a Mongoose Dragon support, some 4-star relics here, and a 4-star Imperial Soldier. Now, this one's going to get interesting, because all those 5 stars are divided up in that 3% rate. I am afraid. I am very, very afraid. But that's what they've done. That's what we've got to live with. So, let's talk about the characters real quick. We're going to try and make this quick because, of course, we'll do analyses of each of these characters, but also there's a lot going on here. First of all, Azula's basic Brilliant Blaze deals blazing damage to a single target. This inflicts the blue flame element on the enemy for 2 turns, ignoring resistance. Blue flame seems to function very similar, if not identical, to the regular fire debuff, only it can stack with a fire debuff. So I think that's kind of the thing there, is it can basically combine. Trigger the hidden skill Prodigy of the Pyre when the caster attacks when they have 2 or more stacks of charge. This will deal 2 hits of wounding damage, inflict blue flame per hit, gain 1 stack of charge for 3 turns, and wounding damage deals additional damage to all if 2 or more negative effects are active. Basically, she deals the first hit, and if she has 2 stacks of this charge effect, she will do another attack that will hit your target and then also be an AoE if that target has debuffs. So already a lot going on, and we're not even close to done. We have here Azure Flame. Deal 2 hits of explosive damage to one target. Damage dealt to the front line hits all other opponents after. Inflict blue flame on all enemies for 2 turns. And increase the rank of blue flames on the target by 1 if the caster has 3 or more stacks of charge. And there, okay, yeah, there's the blue flame there. The enemy will take additional damage equal to 10% of your max HP at the start of turn, and increase damage taken by 25% with the usual defense decrease. Now, there is another thing there, but we're going to talk about that one in just a second. Almost isn't good enough, her passive. First of all, immune to negative effects, which is already just crazy. It basically just means that you can't debuff her at all, I guess. That's gonna get interesting. Gain 2 stacks of charge whenever the caster attacks with their basic or advanced skill. Advanced skill becomes Azure Flame when 5 stacks of charge are present. Okay, so it actually becomes this one when 5 stacks are present. So the alternative to that would be Azure Assault. Deal shockwave damage to all enemies. Shockwave damage, increased damage dealt based on you and the enemy's current speed stat. 50% chance to stun the backline enemy if this attack lands on front or sidelines. So it deals damage based on your speed, the enemy's speed, and can stun. Trigger the hidden skill Lightning Strike. If 7 stacks of charge are present on the caster, this attack cannot be countered. And what is Lightning Strike? Remove positive effects and deal lightning damage to enemy. Inflict shock for 2 turns. Lose all charge stacks. Lightning damage, deal 100% of the target's max HP as damage. Ignore defense and reduction. It's a one-shot kill. If they don't have something to save them, it is an actual one-shot kill. 100% of the target's max HP, if they get hit with this lightning strike, they're done. They're just all the way done. Do I even need to explain what makes her so cool? I mean, just look at that. I mean, 100% of the target's max HP. We officially have an insta-kill ability in the game. That is wild, and we're not even close to done. We have Ty Lee here as a P special element character. First attack here, Sprightly Strikes. Deal 4 hits of counterforce damage to a single target. This removes defensive buffs and heals her for each buff removed. Grant evasion to Team Azula allies for 1 turn, and increase the turn bar of all Team Azula allies by 5%. Very nice little boost to all of her allies there while doing damage. And then Dazzling Disarmament. Deal 1 hit of expulsion damage followed by 1 hit of impairing damage to one enemy and the backline target. Inflict the Chi block state on each enemy for 1 turn. Expulsion damage, 75% chance to remove up to 3 buffs on the target, ignoring resistance. And impairing damage, randomly decrease speed, focus, or turn bar by 15% once per turn. And then the new Chi block state, advanced and combo skills become disabled, and the target's damage is reduced by 75%. So they can only use their basic, and they can only do 25% of their normal damage. Yikes. Big yikes. This is the shut the enemy down move. Whoever gets hit by that, they're just going to be out of the game for a second there. She also does have the new little Chi blocker effect here. I imagine we'll be seeing that quite a bit more once Legend of Korra starts entering the game here. I think that's going to become very important. And then next here, you're not prettier than we are. Grant immunity to turn bar and speed decreasing effects for 1 turn at the start of battle for Team Azula allies. Increase turn bar of all Team Azula allies by 25% when any Team Azula ally falls below 50% HP in battle once per Team Azula ally. So basically, starting out, the team can't be slowed down. You can kiss that Warden's Tower debuff goodbye, they don't care. And then, whenever one of her allies or herself falls below that 25% mark, turn bar increase. Lots of turn bar increase. A nice healthy 25%, and will probably go up as you get extra skill levels. So a very powerful, looks like very much a utility character where she will support her allies while absolutely nuking the power of the enemy. One in particular getting hit by this chi block state, they just won't do anything for the rest of the fight, and that's just that. And then finally, we have the Chaos special character, Mei. First one here, Swift Stilettos. Deals 4 hits of slicing damage to one enemy. Damage dealt increases by 100% if the target is in a positive stance or state at the start of the caster's turn. Damage dealt increases based on the target's max HP. And slicing damage has a 50% chance to inflict bleed, which prevents them from healing. So this is basically just a high damage attack that can scale on the enemy's max HP, meaning that this could be a nice little tank melter. Next, we do have the advanced here, Cynical Sigh. Deals 2 hits of shearing damage to one enemy. This transforms one buff into a rank 2 special element if the target has a buff active, ignoring resistance. Inflicts the captured state on the enemy for 2 turns. Enter a dreary state for 1 turn. Damage dealt increases based on the target's max HP, and this attack cannot miss. Now, what the dreary state does? Reduces damage taken by Team Azula allies by 50%. Enemies cannot enter into a positive state, excluding transformations. So basically, when she enters the state, all of her Team Azula allies get a massive damage reduction, and the enemies can't do a thing about it, and they can't even enter positive states. Kyoshi's Vengeance state, the Warden's Mocking Stance, Mei doesn't care. You just can't do it. The only thing would be like, Mind Aang, where when he gets to a point, he will change to his avatar state form. That is still allowed. And then, Victory is boring. Enemies take additional penetrating damage when they heal if a debuff or negative effect is present, up to 4 times per turn. The caster takes only weak hits for 1 turn if there are debuffs active on any enemy at the start of their turn. So, whenever the enemy heals, they're going to take damage. Possibly even just straight up negating it, depending on where they're getting their healing from. And then the caster, meaning Mei, will only take weak hits for 1 turn if the enemy has any debuffs at the start of her turn. So if even a single enemy has debuffs, she's just going to take less damage, which, combined with the dreary state effect here, could make her very, very tanky in a hurry. So that is the 3 characters here. Now, we do also have the Imperial Soldier as a 4-star Firebender character here, a defense character. We have Imperial Enforcement. Deals disarming damage to one enemy. Grant increased attack to royalty faction allies for 1 turn. Damage dealt increases based on the caster's defensive stat. And then Infernal Escort. Grant tenacity and increased accuracy to all Fire Nation allies for 2 turns. Grant increased speed to all royalty faction allies for 1 turn. Instantly gain an extra turn. And then heal all Fire Nation allies by 25% of their max HP, or heal each rather, at the start of the caster's turn if the caster is in the regen slot. Grant invincibility to all royalty faction allies for 1 turn when the caster is defeated. So, he is meant to be very much a Fire Nation defensive support, and specifically a Fire Nation royalty defensive support. He could of course combine well with Azula, combine with certain versions of Zuko, and certain versions of Iroh. That would all work. So kind of a cool little thing there. Now, real quick, we do have some relics here. The Royal Palette. They said it in the show. I don't remember what it's called. The sitting in the chair while people carry you thing. This is used by Chaos and Royalty characters, aka Azula. Permanently increase speed by 20% at tier 1 for each 25% of HP lost for the first time. So every time she loses 25% HP, she gets a 20% speed boost. Grant 20% increased turn bar when the caster is part of a team combo once per turn. So not only can she get a massive speed boost, she can also get a lot of turn bar from being a part of combos. Black Bouquet here, usable by any Team Azula character. Cap the damage of each attack received to no more than 50% at tier 1 of the caster's max HP. This effect can only happen once per turn at each HP threshold it triggers at. This effect is only active for the first 5 turns of battle. So basically, for the first 5 turns, you can't do any more than a set amount of damage to whoever is using this character. So for example, let's say Ty Lee is holding this. You hit her with like Moonslayer Zhao, a very powerful unit. For that first hit at least, you won't do any more than 50% of her damage. She's basically guaranteed to live. Very interesting effect. I'd be very curious to see what it could do. And then we do have the Circus Lion here. This is usable by Peace and special characters, aka Ty Lee. Remove 1 negative effect on each ally at the start of each enemy's turn, and increase turn bar of the caster by 5% for each effect removed. Basically, every time the enemy takes a turn, she's going to remove a bunch of effects and get a bunch of turn bar. Another very powerful one. These relics are pretty dang strong. This one is very defensive. I'd be very curious to see how this actually works in practice. This can crank up Azula's speed, and then this is very much a team support and speed boost as well in the form of turn bar. Now, just to finish it up here, we do have 2 4-star relics. Mei's Sai, decrease turn bar of all enemies by 3% for each debuff on the enemy when the caster attacks. So nice little turn bar reduction there. And then the Princess Crown, usable by Fire Nation and royalty characters. The caster gains immunity to attack stat decreasing effects for the duration of battle. 20% chance to gain an extra turn when the caster attacks. This would be a nasty 4-star relic. I mean, first of all, not having your attack decrease is never a bad thing. But then having that extra turn, that could be powerful. And finally, we've had a lot to talk about, but we got one last thing here. The Mongoose Dragon. Usable by Team Azula characters, it is a 5-star support. Increase the speed of Team Azula faction heroes by 15% in battle, and that will max out at 30%. This could be very interesting, but also very hard to acquire. I'll be very curious to see how summoning will go not only for that, but for all of these. The rates are painful. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. This is a rough one. The best characters, but wow. Them some rates, but we'll have, that's a bridge we'll cross when we come to it. For now, we're just gonna focus on how cool it is that Azula and Team Azula is in the game. Finally, just one more thing to check on here. We do have the brand new Princess Azula battle here, giving you some coins, as well as focusing on these Chaos Meditation beads. This is going to be a rough one, having to fight all 3 of them at once. We will do videos on this. We will get back to this in the extremely near future. But for now, that is what we have for today. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this new event, which characters you want the most. Do you want Azula? Do you want Ty Lee? Do you want Mei? Do you just want all 3? Let's face it, we all just want all 3. Let me know down in the comments below, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.